Ready, Set, Podcast.
Yay.
First things first, we have a guest.
Oh, yeah.
Hello.
So David, you're more familiar because this is the first time I've met Leanne, correct? Yes.
Yeah, I don't know.
Leanne is a friend of the family.
I'm a friend of the family.
Through a benefactor of the Tugboat and Hassy show. I met Leanne at brunch, and she is a lovely gal.
Oh, thank you.
So I know bits and pieces about you, but I also get snippets of your life from Facebook.
Yes. Yeah.
So you're a weightlifter.
Yeah. I'm a weightlifter, I'm a student, and I'm a bookbinder.
So the connection here is that there's a person who's off screen right now. And this is going to be one of the things we're going to talk about here. This is my thought going into everything. My thought was, okay, let's be a fun thing to do just for fun.
I'm having fun.
Yeah.
I have wine.
All right. Well. I've yet to watch an episode. I just know that you edit it. I upload
I can't
it.
believe you don't watch them.
I'm afraid to know what's going on in there, and I just don't want to know.
I could be putting stink lines on you in
Yes,
post.
you could be. You could be. I don't want to know this.
John had mentioned that you guys were interested in podcasting as well.
Yeah. So he started a blog thing called Geek Fit Nation. And
.com.
yeah. And we're trying to sort of get it running, but I think eventually we'd like that to be a podcast between the two of us. And it's basically kind of like fitness for the every person. Just no bullshit, here are the facts, here's the science, sort of stuff. So I think eventually I'd like to turn that into a podcast as well. So this is kind of practice, I guess.
Fair enough.
I've never podcasted before.
Us neither.
No, I mean, we're still figuring out how in the hell to do half this stuff.
I showed up, I happened to have a mic and that boom in my car, and by the time I had plugged it in, Travis had said, okay, we're going. And we're like, oh, we have people watching us now.
Yeah, the original Tim, I mean, it was supposed to be audio only anyways. There was no intention of any kind of video. And then after we did video for a week, Dave was like, hey, let's keep doing video.
Yeah.
I like that part.
It's fun.
Yeah.
Makes it more
Except for the part where you can see yourself.
That's a little distracting.
Yeah, just pay no attention to that.
We can turn that off.
No, it's fine. It's fine.
Oh, look, Ellsworth has contributed to the chat. Boners, boners, boners.
Yes, that would...
We can talk about boners if you want. I'm actually in school studying health education.
Boners?
Yeah. Oh, I'm studying health education with the goal of becoming a sexual health educator. So
Okay.
I'm not an expert at the moment, but I'm getting my master's degree.
David, I'll let you take the lead on this.
You don't have to talk about boners. Boners, uncomfortable or most comfortable? What?
That's a good question.
Do women have buttholes if they don't need to poop?
This is the...
So that is a common misconception.
You wanted the chat on the screen, you've got the chat on the screen. You happy now?
I'm
Is the misconception that women have buttholes or that women poop?
Well, you're the expert.
Well, women do in fact poop, and they also have buttholes.
You heard it here first.
Sorry. I know, it's terrible, but it's true. This is too
I went
much.
there.
Okay.
Apparently it's too much science for a Saturday.
What? We're talking about buttholes.
Boner.
Take it easy, Boner Town, USA.
That's John.
That was...
Is it?
Yes.
That's cute.
All right,
So you didn't want to be on the podcast, huh?
I thought you had work to do.
I'm working now.
Okay.
Trying to get it started.
But yes, boners.
What about it? It's a thing that happens, yes.
Did you ever have like the awkward boner in middle school?
All right, I knew we were headed this way, didn't I? Okay. No, I have not actually.
Me neither.
I would hope not. That would be okay. Yes. David, take this. I'm reaching uncomfortable zone.
I don't think I ever did either. Maybe it's just like a staple of TV, and it doesn't actually happen.
I mean, it probably happens to some people, but I don't think it's like.
Just search on Reddit. I'm sure you could find a story about it.
Is there any female equivalent of like boner in class?
I mean, you can get horny in class, and there's no like visible thing.
So you're taking this path, and as we mentioned earlier, we're in a state where, you know, there's certain things that they just kind of want to sweep under the rug and tell people that doesn't exist.
Yeah.
And that, like you mentioned earlier, you know, don't do it. That's all.
Yeah.
You know, that's pretty much the message here. You find that kind of rough thinking about going to this field as far as studying this, but realizing maybe in this particular state may not be able to apply too much. And
or maybe she can like lead the charge.
I mean, the thing is, like, as taking the role of educator, I won't really be able to change anything, like, as far as what happens in the state, because that's all happening at a government level. I would have to, like, go into, like, public health, which I could. Like, I could eventually do, like, more advocacy thing. And I don't really see myself in that role. I think it's really important, and I think that there are people that I'm studying with that will probably take that charge. But I personally don't want to end up in Texas. Like, I've been here my whole life. Like, I'm over it, basically. So
that's how I felt about Arizona.
Yeah. So I'm doing this with the knowledge that I probably won't end up here. Like, I'll probably do internships here, obviously, while I'm in school, but eventually, like, my career will be somewhere, hopefully, where, like, sex ed is more, like, available and accepted.
So what kind of role would you need to pursue to, like, jazz up some of the terminology? Because, like, the entire experience that I went through in high school was a lot of words that kind of make you cringe.
So a big part of that is, like in the Netherlands, they start sex ed at, which I put in quotes because it's not really sex ed. It's like sexuality. So your whole, like, the whole having relationships, being, like, touching people. They start that, like, in kindergarten. So they're learning about, like, how we talk to people, how we tell people we're attracted to them, or how we just, like, respect people's boundaries. And it's more about building this, like, and you kind of, like, add a little bit as time goes on, and it's like, it kind of just makes, the reason we think these words are icky and, like, cringeworthy is, like, number one, because a lot of them are infections, you know, and we have this stigma that STIs are gross. But also, there's just stigma because we don't hear those words until we're, like, 13, 14, 15 in schools. We don't, it's like, when we're in elementary school, we learn all about, like, the body systems, and we're like, okay, there's, like, the digestive system, and there's, like, respiratory system, and there's all these things, but we never talk about, like, you also have this reproductive system. So the first time we hear, like, penis, vagina is, like, way down the line when we're like, ew, oh my god, that's, like, that weird thing.
So those like, purely aesthetically, those two words in particular seem fine to me, but, like, testes and cervix, you can't, they don't flow off the tongue.
I don't know.
The only exception being the vas deferens, which sounds like a cool cafe.
I don't know. I still giggle at the word testes. I don't know what it is, but I don't know. Just something about the word testes just seems funny to me.
I mean, I don't know. I've kind of, like, trained myself to not really find any of them funny.
Oh, really?
just
It
because
seems like you've taken the best part of your job, that you don't just like giggle all day in class.
there are plenty of things to laugh about. Like, people say ridiculous shit, but I mean, just part of what I'm trying to do is like making it less like giggle worthy, or like, and people giggle because they're uncomfortable or like they feel awkward, and like the point is like we should not feel like estranged from this part of ourselves that is like, I mean, so there's the Maslow's hierarchy of needs, and like it's basically like what you need at the bottom, and then it goes up to like the things at the top, which are kind of superfluous, but like a well-rounded, healthy individual will have something from all categories. Sex is in the base of that. Like we need that to function. It's like, it's just so natural, and yet so many people are like detached and like disconnected, and they don't feel comfortable about it, and they don't want to talk about it, they don't want to learn about it, or they feel icky, or they don't take the time to like discover that part of themselves, because there's stigma and there's judgment, and there's people who say it's wrong and it's bad, and it's not. It's natural.
I don't know. I mean, when I was a teenager, I'm pretty sure I had no problem discovering that part about myself, for sure.
Right.
Come on, right, David?
What?
Come on.
You're trying to make me hop on board the masturbation bandwagon right now?
It's a thing. People do it. I have no problem admitting that.
It is a thing,
agree.
and people do it. The thing is, it's not that people don't do it. That's the thing, is people do. That's what I'm saying. It's like people do it. Like, we masturbate, we have sex, we do this stuff, but we don't talk about it. And when we do, there are people who are like, oh, that's bad, or like, we feel some kind of reservation about it, or they, like, there's stigma. It's all stigmatized. And I mean, a lot of that is coming from like religion, or just like your family, or whatever it is. There's like this thing where it's like, you don't talk about it, it's hush hush, it's quiet, like. And even just the language we use with children, and like in regards to our genitals, like, oh, that's the no area or something, and it's like, that's terrible.
Yeah, it's like giving those kinds of words the same kind of power as the N-word, or
yeah, it's like that's genitals is not a bad word, and
it's funny though.
I mean, I understand what when it comes to that, because I mean, we're essentially just saying typical medical terms. These are, I mean, it's like we don't say anything wrong, like when we're talking about other parts of our body that are internal organs that,
right.
like David was saying,
Cervix.
yes, or come on, esophagus. I mean, no one's going to say, "Oh, that's a bad word." I mean, that's part of your throat.
Exactly.
So
exactly, it's all it's part of our body. It's all natural. It's there, and it does things, and we have to learn how to like, one, use them, and two, like, embrace them.
The stigma's definitely there. I was having relations with a
you say that like it's a bad thing.
I am putting it politely, with a girl who was much shorter than me. And at a certain point I was saying, what's that? And then I figured it out, and it was cervix. And announcing that kind of killed the mood.
Yeah, it can.
Well, okay, maybe there may be some situations where using the exact medical terms may not be the best idea.
In retrospect, I agree. But I was like proud of myself for remembering.
Good job.
So let's move on. There's another topic that again I just recently discovered that this is correct. You lift weights. Is that correct?
I guess I partly started just like on a mission to get healthier. When I was younger, I did a lot of like yo-yo dieting stuff, and I was always like a goal to get like skinny or whatever, and look better. And then recently, like in the last 2 years, I was kind of like, maybe I should stop focusing on like appearance and just be healthy. And I didn't ever work out. I was really sedentary. I would ride my bike every once in a while, and like that was it. I got winded going upstairs, and I just was like, you know, I really need to like focus myself and be like, just have the goal of being a healthy person. So I started with just like my diet, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna like just eat healthy. And my first goal was like eat 5 to 7 servings of vegetables and fruits a day. And I did that, and then I kind of like kept tweaking it, like eat less sugar, eat more fiber, eat like all these different things. And then I eventually was like, okay, I've gotten to the point where like I want to step it up a notch, and I was like, okay, I want to start exercising, and I got a personal trainer. And I kind of started like social media, like searching for like just fitness things and like various like people that I could look to for inspiration. And I kind of realized like, I think like I want to be really strong. Like I want to like I don't want to just like go run on a treadmill because that's really boring. And so when I started working with my personal trainer, I told her that I was like, you know, I want to do weightlifting and stuff. And it started kind of like just very simple stuff. And then I was like, no, like I want to get a lot better at this, and I want to keep going, and I want to like lift heavy, and I want to do all of this other stuff. So it's just kind of like I'm in the middle of my journey, but yeah, I mean, I feel like completely different. Like I feel like I've done a 180. I lost like 30 pounds, and like I feel more like I feel healthier. Like I have more energy, and I feel like it kind of, I mean, it definitely keeps me sane because I suffer from depression and stuff. So it's like working out is a way that I deal with. Okay, pizza is hella good. Exercise is hella boring. I get started. I still eat pizza. In fact, I just ate pizza. So there's that.
I mean, yeah, that's the thing. I mean, you can still technically pretty much eat almost anything you want, as long as you realize you got to put an effort to.
Right. I mean, so the science behind it's not. I mean, there's fitness, and then there's losing weight. So like, if your goal is to lose weight, the science is calories in has to be less than calories out. So you can decrease what you're eating, you can exercise more, burn more calories.
But it's all about the equation.
Yeah, you just have to get it balanced out. And, you know, there are things that you can use to help you with this. So, like, there's at MyFitnessPal, you can log everything you eat so you know what you're eating and how many calories you're eating. And then you can, like I have a Fitbit, so that kind of helps me, like, keep track of what I'm burning when I'm exercising.
For people who don't know, those are like Tamagotchis for grown-ups.
Yeah, pretty much. And I guess to answer the other part, exercise can be boring, and like that's why I didn't want to just go to the gym and sit on the treadmill or not sit. I would not do anything. Run on the treadmill for an hour because that's
it'd be funny.
Lame. And it is boring, and that's why I love weightlifting. It's like a challenge. It's like little mini goals. Each time I go in, you know, I'm like trying to like get better, you know, so I'm like, can I do this a little bit more weight today, or can I do like this thing? And you set little goals for yourself, and so every time you go, you're like playing sort of a game. If you think of it like that, it's not boring at all.
So yeah, I recognize that as well. It's like my big crux to exercise regularly, if at all, was that I can't stand on a tread or run on a treadmill, or even like lifting weights is like, okay, I'm doing the thing and I'm still doing it. Okay. So I recognized that immediately. And I could like go play basketball because I'll chase the ball.
Yeah.
So what I ended up doing was I bought an exercise bike with a desk on it. I just put my laptop and watched the same 3 hours of YouTube videos that I do anything.
If that makes you do it, that's great. You just gotta find, like, whenever I do cardio, I have to have my phone like in front. I watch YouTube videos and Netflix and whatever because I'm just like, I hate this so much. I just zone out.
So I think we got you a nickname. fitness lady.
I guess so.
We can probably do better than that.
No, it could probably use some work. So when I first heard that you were into lifting weights, my thought, of course, is I first go to powerlifting. So
Yeah.
I'm thinking that
China's going to walk in the door.
No, not that far. Not that far. As far as like that's your end goal is to be able to bench like what is it like? What's an abnormal number? I don't know anything about this
Like
kind of stuff.
800
8.
pounds.
Yeah.
I like powerlifting stuff, and I dabble in it. I don't feel like my knowledge of powerlifting is like that solid to be able to do it on my own. Because I would need someone to be there like coaching me, and coaches are expensive, but I've dabbled in it, and I do like my strongest lift is my deadlift, and it's still not even that much. Like I PR'd a deadlift of 165 for 5 reps the other day. I mean, that's not, it's, see, like to the person who doesn't weightlift, it's like, wow, that's so much. But for me,
No, I didn't understand all the terminology.
Oh, PR is personal record.
Okay.
So 165 pounds for 5 reps. So I lifted it 5 times.
So she could lift me 5 times. How's that?
I actually
I could lift you
did
5 times. Again, it'd be funny.
the day after I did that, because I posted a video of it on Facebook, and my friend was like, I saw your video, can you deadlift me? And I was like, I could try. So we strapped belts around him and actually did deadlifting. So pretty
Wow.
fun.
And you said there's video of this.
Yes, there is video.
Someone find that. So yeah, it's actually EJ actually has a good question. I actually thought about this as well. We'll get to the Diet Coke question here in just a second, but motivation. So this is the problem I've had, is that I am awake at 5 in the morning. I get out of bed maybe 15 minutes later. It takes me a while. Get my shower, get dressed. I'm on the road to work about 6:30. I'm sorry, 6 o'clock, 6:10. So 6:30. I don't get out to, if I'm lucky, 4:30. I get home. I'm exhausted because I'm running around all day at my job. I don't want to do anything. I get home. I'm tired. I just want to veg. How does one get out of that kind of rut? Get motivated into doing something like that?
I mean, the thing, you just have to find the time that you know you'll go, or do something that forces you to go at a certain time. Like for me, I just, like when I first started working out, I just had to I would go to work, but I would have my gym stuff in the car, like on the front seat next to me, and so I would see it when I got in the car after work, and I would just go straight to the gym after work. And it's like you kind of have to just make no excuse for yourself to not go, and then make a habit of it. And eventually, you get kind of, I don't know, you get addicted to it, because you feel better. So
it's weirdly recursive in that once you start getting in better shape, you have more energy to do that kind of extra stuff.
Yeah, and so it's just kind of it's not the answer you're looking for, because there is no easy answer. But the answer is you just have to do it. You just have to tell just say okay, every day this week I'm gonna do this, or even just start slow. 1 day a week even is better than nothing, So even if all you do is your first week you make it to the gym on Monday, that's great. That's 100% better than you did last week. So you just kind of you have to force yourself, and you have to make small goals.
So as usual, time is your enemy. Gotcha. So now I'm pretty sure I got a feeling I know the answer to this. Diet Coke.
So
There's a shit ton of sugar, so it's not great for you.
well, Diet Coke doesn't have sugar. It has
something.
aspartame in it.
Fake sugar.
It has fake sugar. There are studies that, there are tons of studies on this, and there's no conclusive evidence as far as I know. One of my teachers told us that she chooses to drink Diet Coke, and I drink Diet Coke. I don't drink a lot of it. I drink probably 1 or 2 a week, and it's definitely addicting to me. Like I'll drink it and like I want one the next day and I just have to say no. But like, so there is some evidence that if you are already obese and you drink a lot of diet soda, that it triggers like the sweet craving in your brain, and so you have that and you eat more sugar and you gain more weight. I think that I'm not exactly sure that that's what the outcome is, but it's something like that. So if you're fit or you're at least, you know, within the healthy body weight, theoretically you can drink some Diet Coke and you will be like that much worse off. Basically there's nothing to really say, like Diet Coke isn't going to give you cancer any more than anything else you eat is going to give you cancer, right? So it's not on like I don't know if you guys heard about the like processed meats thing is now like in the same category of cancer causing agents as tobacco, and that does not mean that you have the same risk of getting cancer if you eat bacon as you do if you smoke cigarettes. What it means is that they have found a link in processed meats, so like your cured meats and cancer. But like Diet Coke is not in that category yet, as far as I know.
All right, so Diet Coke, maybe not amazing, but not as bad as cigarettes.
Yeah, I mean, the way I look at it is, as long as like I'm not like jumping out of bed to drink a Diet Coke in the morning, I'm probably okay. You know, like as long as that's not my only like fluid sustenance, because I drink a gallon of water at least a day also. So if I'm drinking something else, it's like on top of that. And I just try to like keep it in moderation. That's sort of my thing, is like everything in moderation. You know, don't eat donuts and pizza every meal, but if you want donuts and pizza every once in a while, then do it.
I'm sorry. No, I have this vision of people now smoking hot dogs and order.
Candy with just a wiener.
If it's just as bad as tobacco, why not?
We established that it wasn't. Why do you have a tub of ice cream just on your bookshelf?
Oh, that's Stephen Colbert's American Dream.
Did you eat it?
Yeah.
Okay. It's not just ice cream hanging out?
It's melted ice cream that's been on my shelf for the last however many years.
I mean, I don't know. You're a collector. It's worth less if the seal is broken.
This is the part of the show where David gets distracted by something off in the distance.
It does happen a lot.
Well,
Oh yeah, I'm going to go back to your sexpertise.
okay.
I've gotten tested before, and I feel like that's like the good thing to do if you're sexually active, just as a precaution. Scared of doctors, scared of needles. I don't want to go again. Is there anything to circumvent needles in this whole process?
Okay, so with STI testing, the needle, not all of them can be found with blood tests, but they actually do have tests that are just finger pricks now for like, I think that's just exclusively HIV and AIDS. It's not like a full-on needle. It doesn't hurt. It's just like 1 second and you're done.
It sounds like it hurts.
It might sting. I don't know. I haven't done that one. But it's not, I mean, it's a lot better than having them like draw blood full on. Because I don't like that either, but that's the only one I've done. So I think no is the answer. There's no way around it.
All right, I'm never having sex again.
That is a way around
Abstinence, kids.
Abstinence is the only 100% way to keep yourself safe from STIs and pregnancy. So there's nothing wrong with it. If you don't want to have sex, then have sex, but it's just not a reliable education tool. Because people are going to have sex.
I like this idea that Hound said that the only way to, obviously steer clear, as you're saying, was not to have sex. It's like, oh no, I accidentally had sex. What do I do? It's like, it's a weird thought. Okay, there was going somewhere, and then it just hit a brick wall. So we're gonna move on.
There's a good Eminem lyric about that. What happened? You tripped, fell, and landed on a stick?
See, so it can accidentally happen. I knew it.
Are
So-
supplements necessary when working out or not? No, they're totally not necessary. If you want, there are some that have been proven to increase like various things like fat burning or muscle building, but they're totally not necessary. I didn't take any supplements. Now I don't really take many. I sometimes will take a pre-workout, and that's purely because sometimes I really don't feel like going to the gym, but I know once I take like 300 milligrams of caffeine, I'm gonna need to burn it off.
You obviously want to work on a podcast. There's a website. Is there a website that at least you're starting with? Is there anything like
yeah,
information?
it's geekfitnation.com, and we have an Instagram and a Facebook page that John has beautifully crafted in his spare time.
You're not on camera, you don't have to flex.
It's definitely just starting. Like we literally just doing it. But there's a few posts up, and I am also like I love to cook, so I'm posting recipes and stuff. And yeah.
So one thing actually is you mentioned the recipe part. One thing that seems to be happening now, especially now with the Twitch creative that's just recently launched, is a lot of people are starting to cook more, live stream their cooking. That's something maybe you thought about in addition to having your recipes?
I haven't thought about it, but now I am. That's a good idea.
Yeah, we brought it up at least once. Probably one of my favorite YouTubers right now is Hannah Hart.
Oh, I fucking love Drunk Kitchen. Oh my god. It's so good.
Dude.
Boop boop.
She's so cute.
I know.
Never actually watched it, so
She just gets drunk and cooks things, and she's
Yeah.
I figured out what the
hilariously
premise was.
terrible
Pretty.
cook, too.
Yeah,
Like,
half the shit ends up
doesn't-
burnt.
Like, I love when she does this thing and it sounds like it's gonna be so good and she's so excited about it, and then she takes a bite and she's like, oh god. This is bad. Yeah. Did you watch the cranberry sauce one?
I didn't.
It was very recent, but she like made like a tequila it was like spiked cranberry sauce, and she like she was like in the middle of making it, realized it had to be in the fridge overnight, so she came back on camera like in the morning when she was not drunk anymore, and she took a bite and she was like, no, this just tastes like a shot. Like, yeah,
That's what happens to all Jello shots.
I was gonna say that's like the perfect holiday Jello shot.
This will get back at Nana.
yeah, I like that.
So what kind of information would we find at the Geek Fit Nation?
John's been doing a lot of sort of just like workout tips. Like I think he did one on
health journalism kind of stuff.
Yeah, he's done one on like selecting the right protein if you want to take a protein supplement, like if you need it or not, and then selecting like the best one. He's done one on like our favorite pre-workout supplements. I think he did one about like Amazon, like using Amazon Prime and other internet things to kind of like get you through your workout. Yeah.
No, that's all. Just for you to get that information out there,
And recipes, like I said, I wrote a post about like being fit shamed because I had some people say that like.
What's that?
I had someone on my Facebook say that I was being fat phobic because I said I was bloated, which is beyond me.
Isn't that a thing that happens to anybody?
Yeah, it was very stupid, but I was just kind of like, a lot of the time I've noticed that like if you hang out with people who don't necessarily work out or aren't like, or maybe a little bit sensitive,
oh my god, can I be your token fat friend?
If you want, I mean, it just like that there are people who will be like, why are you trying to work out? Like, oh, that's so stupid. Or like, what are you trying to like show off? Or there's just people that, I don't know, that'll try to keep you from doing anything because fucking people suck. Am I right?
I think that
People do suck.
I think it's the slogan of Earth. People suck.
I think we should either transition and just like tank the mood of the entire podcast and talk about travesties.
I'm sorry, what? No. Oh, God. Why do you keep bringing this up? All right. Explain.
Oh, yeah. This is Travis. And sometimes he drinks tea, and we talk about really depressing shit.
Oh, good.
Only for the pun. So, like, terrible things happened in France, and I can't
wow.
figure
You
out...
really want to go here?
Yeah.
God.
And I don't know what the hell happened. Like, I missed it by 24 hours, 12 hours, and all the articles that I can find are reactionary to the event and not about the event itself. So I don't know what happened.
I don't really either.
Do you want to chime in?
I can chime in.
Yeah, no, be the voice of God here.
There's no conclusive links to anything yet. ISIL is claiming responsibility, but obviously at this point...
It's in their best interest, too.
Yeah, and then just the same thing with the Russian airliner that crashed. They claim responsibility, but it's just likely that it was the plane that crashed. In this case, obviously, there's a situation where there's a lot of dissent and discord within France because there's such a high Muslim community there.
I didn't know that.
Over the last 30 years, a lot of immigrants from Muslim countries have been coming. A lot of European countries, though, don't have a good way to integrate the same way that America does. Whenever you move to America, you become American, right? And people kind of know what they're getting into because we export our culture in movies and all sorts of things. Whenever they go to France, though, they kind of go to these areas and they don't integrate. They start up like little Muslim villages and to just keep their shit going the way that they were back in, their home countries. So there's been areas for like the last 10 years or so, maybe 5 years, where there's no French policing done. It's just Muslim-controlled territory within these neighborhoods in France. So these people who are holding to their Muslim ideals, they do not agree with French ideals. They will, they disrespect women who wear shorts, things like that, or skirts. They're just real big dickheads, right? So they get recruited online. They go back to like Syria or wherever, do their little brainwash deal. They're still French citizens because they were born there. They go back, and then you can have situations like this where you've got brainwashed teenagers that don't fit in. And basically what happened was, I think the death count is about 123 people. Most of those were in a concert hall. They started mowing down. Pretty terrible. What happened?
Travesty. Wow.
Very sad.
The reaction, though, has been how many of these were Syrian refugees, which I think is just I actually blocked a guy on my Facebook today because that's something he posted. Making that stuff like that just segments cultures even more, and by blaming people who are trying to escape this exact kind of thing is just really where our media is at now. It's pretty disgusting. So there's no conclusive link between any refugees. There's no conclusive links between ISIL yet. So anyway, fuck them.
Don, you got the line of the day. Quote unquote, their little brainwash deal.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
So great, you got your little depressing moment, David?
Yeah, no, it can't all be yucks and cervixes.
Well, I'm pretty sure one of our tags is
Hashtag real talk.
Okay, well, yeah. Also, the other tags in the description is comedy, so that's great. And we went to depression land. Thanks for that.
That's why they always have like the happy mask and the sad mask. Kind of juxtapose. Otherwise, the funny doesn't get as funny.
Oh gosh, someone say something funny right now instead.
Wubba-lubba-dub-dub.
I don't know what's going on in the chat, but it has nothing to do with what we're talking about.
No, that's fine. That's that. Well, I'll explain how that why that happens later. Okay.
Oh yeah, there's like 10 different channels on this thing that we host our thing on. So the people in the chat may or may not even be talking about us.
Well, one said your name.
Definitely not talking about us.
Nope.
Okay. Wrap it up. We've pretty much hit an hour already.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, these always go so fast.
Don't they?
I like this so much.
I was very nervous, but nothing to be nervous about.
Yeah, what you worried about? I mean, you've met me. Maybe Travis was a murderer.
What?
Oh, I'm still alive.
Great. So
Mission not accomplished, Travis.
Geek Fit Nation is where they can find your stuff.
Yep. Geek Fit Nation on everything. .com, at Geek Fit Nation on Instagram. My personal Instagram is at Tallest Trees if you want to see videos of me picking up heavy stuff.
That's a cool name.
Thank you. Yeah.
Cool. And of course, you can find our stuff over at tugboatandhassy.com. We're working on switching over the fees because I just learned that SoundCloud doesn't give you free storage for more than 3 podcasts. So that's a thing.
Oh yeah, we're such amateur fucking hour. Like one of our shows got taken down because we don't have enough bandwidth.
But that'll be up again when I actually have the energy to do so. So there's that.
Can we play Quiplash?
Maybe we'll see.
That's what my parents always said when they meant no.
Yeah, so I don't know. How do we usually close this? I forget. I feel like we.
It just kind of peters out with like a sad lull.
That's right.
My favorite one was actually do click, and then it just cut to black.
When I said I was going to click the stop button, I meant I was clicking stop.
I mean, I'm editing, so that's what's going to happen now.
How about I just go to click stop then? Great. Thanks for watching, everyone.
Bye.
Hey, Tugboat!